How to rise in the social hierarchy without selling out. It starts when you realize the game is already happening, with or without your permission. And if you don't play, you're still a piece. Just a silent one. I used to think being good was enough. But being good without being sharp is how people get used, sidelined, forgotten. We're taught to chase respect by performing excellence. But in real life, social hierarchy isn't built by the loudest talent. It's built by those who understand human nature psychology. How fear, validation, envy, and neediness shape decisions more than logic ever could. No one tells you this straight. Your rise isn't about climbing a fair ladder. It's about decoding the unspoken social rules that hold that ladder in place. If you don't see them, you'll keep trying to win a game that isn't even real. And wonder why people less qualified keep rising while you're stuck. The truth? Office politics tips aren't extra, they're the main course. People who thrive long-term have social survival skills, not just skill sets. They know how to read people, not just reports. They sense when a room shifts before a word is spoken. They play the invisible chess game with instinct, not ego. You don't have to sell out. But you do have to wake up. Because the reason most people feel stuck isn't lack of talent, it's blindness to power dynamics. They keep reacting emotionally to situations that were never personal. They feel attacked, ignored, disrespected. But in reality, they were just stepping into a structure already tilted. You walk in thinking it's neutral ground. It's not. It never was. Survival mindset doesn't mean paranoia. It means perception. Knowing that behind every smiling face is a story, a trigger, a fear, a need. It means watching how someone treats the powerless, not just how they talk about values. Street smart skills aren't just for the street. They're for boardrooms, group chats, leadership tables, anywhere humans gather and mask their motives. The hardest part? Realizing how often we manipulate ourselves. You downplay your insight to seem more relatable. You laugh at things that offend you to keep the peace. You agree with decisions you know are off, because the cost of disagreeing seems too high. That's how selling out begins. Not in one big choice, but in tiny betrayals that feel like being strategic. But you can play the game without becoming it. You start by studying silence. When someone speaks, what are they not saying? When someone praises you, what are they protecting? Learn to see manipulation tactics not as evil, but as signals. Signals that people are afraid of losing control, status, image, approval. And if you're honest, you'll see it in yourself too. Sometimes, our drive to rise comes from a place of, I'll show them. And that fire can burn through logic. Emotional intelligence isn't just about empathy, it's about inner X-ray vision. Catching your own patterns when you're about to give your power away for a quick ego hit. Or for belonging that costs too much. Social hierarchy explained simply? It's a moving stage. People shift roles based on the room, not just their resume. That's why someone who's quiet at work becomes a leader in their circle. That's why titles don't always equal influence. Real power is contextual. It breathes. So how do you rise? You stop reacting. You start observing. You notice who talks more when certain people walk in. Who stays silent when truth is needed. Who positions themselves close to power, not because they believe in it, but because they fear irrelevance. You study what triggers you, not to fight it, but to use it. Your anger, jealousy, embarrassment, all contain data. Game theory in real life isn't about being cold. It's about calculating impact before action. Knowing which battles preserve your energy, and which ones waste it. And here's the uncomfortable piece. You need allies. Not friends. Not fans. Allies. People who benefit when you win. People who see your rise as part of theirs. Without that, your growth is fragile. With it, you become unavoidable. The system doesn't reward the best, it rewards the most strategically visible. Visibility isn't loudness, it's relevance. You earn it by aligning with momentum, not just shouting your truth. That's the difference between authentic and effective. You don't have to become fake, but you do have to become fluent. Fluent in reading power maps. Fluent in navigating egos. Fluent in timing. Some truths need to wait. Some values need to be framed right. Some wins come quietly, until it's safe to be loud. And yes, sometimes you'll need to blend in to get close enough to change things. That's not weakness. That's infiltration. There's a line between adapting and abandoning. You feel it in your gut. It's that moment when a laugh feels forced, or a silence feels like self-betrayal. Don't ignore that. That's the line you draw, not once but daily. Keep your inner compass sharp, but let your external map flex. Because in the real world, principles without precision become liabilities, and power without awareness becomes poison. The climb isn't about pretending you don't care about power. Everyone cares, even the ones who say they don't. The difference is whether you chase power directly or position yourself so that power flows naturally toward you. Chasing looks desperate, positioning looks inevitable, and inevitability is magnetic. The mistake is thinking people are rational. Human nature psychology doesn't work that way. People respond to stories, to signals, to how you make them feel about themselves. Facts matter, but only when they serve identity. You want to rise? Stop asking, "How do I look?" and start asking, "How do they feel when they're with me?" That's how influence builds, quietly, invisibly, under the surface. Unspoken social rules decide more than written ones. For example, in every office, there's the person everyone vents to. The safe ear. They may not have the title, but they hold the pulse. That's power. Or the one who never speaks in meetings, but whispers to the right person after. That's power too. If you don't see it, you'll mistake volume for authority. And keep aiming at the wrong targets. The irony is, once you see the structure, you stop taking things personally. The boss ignoring you isn't about you. It's about the hierarchy they're protecting. The colleague throwing shade isn't about your work. It's about their insecurity that you threaten their spot. The silence after your idea isn't rejection. It's hesitation, waiting to see who endorses it first. When you stop reacting to every move, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is strength. Psychological manipulation only works on those who don't see it. Once you see the strings, you stop dancing. And you start pulling your own. Not to hurt, but to move. Because the truth is, manipulation isn't just negative, it's part of how humans survive together. Framing, timing, influence, these are tools. The difference is intent. Are you using them to trap or to build? There's a dangerous temptation to play the game so hard you forget who you are. To rise so fast that when you look back, you don't even like the person who climbed. That's what selling out really means. Not success, but self-erasure. Trading your voice for approval until you can't hear it anymore. And by the time you notice, you're addicted to the hierarchy you once swore you'd rise above. So, how to win in life without losing yourself? You start with brutal self-checks. Ask, am I aligning or am I submitting? Am I adapting or am I dissolving? Am I chasing recognition or am I creating undeniable impact? These questions cut through the noise. They keep you grounded in a survival mindset that's more than just getting by. It's thriving with eyes open. It takes courage to stand in a system and not be swallowed by it. To play without forgetting it's a game. To win without believing the win defines your worth. That balance is razor thin. But it's the only way to climb and still sleep at night. And here's something people don't tell you. You don't need to dominate to rise. Sometimes the smartest move is to shift sideways, not up. Influence is often broader than vertical. Being the person who connects two worlds, two groups, two ideas, that's a position of power too. Hierarchy is vertical, but survival is networked. And networks are harder to topple than towers. The hidden advantage? Detachment. The less you need approval, the more you attract it. The less you fight for status, the more people hand it to you. Because neediness leaks. And nothing kills influence faster than the scent of desperation. Play the long game. Slow moves. Quiet wins. Strategic patience. That's how the board changes. And if you're listening right now, maybe you've already felt it. The tension between who you are and who the system wants you to be. That inner friction is data. It tells you where the trap is. Where the cost of belonging is too high. Don't numb it. Follow it. Because every hierarchy tests not just your ambition, but your integrity. The truth is simple. Rising without selling out means carrying both maps. The map of the external game, who holds power, what they fear, how they move. And the map of your internal compass, what you refuse to trade, where your line stands, what remains non-negotiable. Lose either one, and you fall. Keep both, and you rise different. But here's the twist. Sometimes the real climb isn't up. Sometimes it's out. Out of systems designed to keep you small. Out of circles where your growth is a threat. Out of games where winning costs more than losing. The highest level of street smart skills isn't just playing the game, it's knowing when to walk away from it. And maybe that's the question you need to sit with now, not how to rise, but where. Because not every hierarchy deserves your climb.